Whitstable in Kent, a fishing town famous for its oysters, proud of its working harbour. When I visited back in January, this place so perfectly encapsulated the national divisions on Brexit that I decided to return. I wanted to come back to Whitstable because what people told me here has really stayed with me. Remain supporters despairing at the chaos, a fisherman who said that if Brexit didn't happen, then he would never vote again. So I've been wondering how they're feeling now on the week that we were supposed to be leaving the EU. In the last 10 weeks, the views of Remain supporters John McGee and Sarah Lonsdale have merely hardened. Last weekend they marched on Westminster to demand a second referendum.
We're sort of reaching this climax now of lunacy and nobody knows what's going to happen. It's ridiculous.
Yes, I mean, the last time we spoke to you, the country was in chaos and we were on the verge of crisis. And now we're in exactly the same position as we were then. I mean, there are glimmers of hope, but there are glimmers of more awful things to come as well, now that Theresa May is going to be standing down, sacrificed herself for this ridiculous enterprise.
So do you have much faith in our politicians and our democracy?
I think what's been missing is leadership from both main political parties, and I think that's been the real problem. There's been a vacuum of leadership, and I think MPs are struggling now to make sense of the madness that they've been given to deal with.
And I was of the view for a long time that, even though I was a sort of Remainer, that we should respect the will of the 17.4 million and go ahead with a Brexit, a softish Brexit. But as the weeks have ticked by, I've got to say that my views completely changed and hardened about this. I think we need to go back to the people. These people couldn't be entrusted with a whelk stall, let alone running the country.
It was harder to track down the 3 fishermen that I spoke to in January. One was busy fishing in the Channel, but at Whitstable Harbour we caught up with Phil Edwards just after a morning's work oyster fishing.
I said the day after the referendum I'd eat my hat if we actually ever leave in anything but name.
So even though you voted to leave in good faith, you always thought that they might ignore your message?
Yeah, I mean, I've long given up thinking that we live in a democracy. It seems to me EU policy is like, you can have a referendum as long as you vote the way we tell you.
So you're actually really questioning if we're living in a democracy?
I don't think we are. You know, OK, it was a close vote, but then quite often they are. I mean, it's still a leave vote.
To find Chris Attenborough, we had to go to Westminster. He'd spent 48 hours hauling his 32-foot-long fishing boat on a lorry to Parliament Square in order to join the pro-Brexit protest.
It's pathetic, to be honest with you. We're supposedly live in a democratic society, and it's not looking like that at all. You know, we voted by 52% to leave, and it's not happening. You know, and we've only got 650 MPs up there to blame.
Chris wasn't the only person who had made a long journey to make their voice heard. So where have you come from?
Carlisle. Gravesend.
Cheshire.
We're from Portsmouth. Portsmouth voted leave.
I come from Cardiff in Wales.
Islington. From Seaham in County Durham.
Kent.
I drove from York to Huddersfield and there was a bus down.
Give me one word about how you're feeling now.
Angry.
Disgusted.
Betrayed.
Betrayed.
Betrayed, yeah. There isn't another word for it.
Angry.
Chicanery.
Absolutely disgusted. Democracy dies today.
Frustration.
Betrayal. Disgusted.
Devastated. Devastated.
I'm 17, so I didn't actually vote. I haven't voted yet, but I'm here with the suffragette flag just to remind people that they fought for my right to vote, and then I'm here to fight for that vote to be counted. If we don't leave the European Union, democracy is just, it's gone.
This was the week that we were supposed to leave the EU, and we haven't. And many Leave voters that I've spoken to aren't even surprised. It's what they feared would happen all along. There's a real sense of anger here, anger that isn't just going to go away, and even a crisis of faith in democracy itself. Both Remainers and Leavers are looking to Parliament for answers, and they don't have long to provide them. The deadline for a Brexit decision is just 10 days away.